Hey everybody, this is Dark Side Ali here. I'm very sorry I haven't been making any videos lately. My computer took a huge dump and had to replace the motherboard, get a brand new CPU, get a whole new computer basically. So, what this video is going to detail is we got the drop on the Matt Reeves Batsuit and the look of it, and I'm going to try to get in touch with Hawk, and we're going to try to do another podcast. I'm going to make a personal podcast about the whole what's been going on lately and some of my personal opinions and my personal views. However, this is going to be about the Batman suit. What do I think of it, and how and what do I think of the whole situation and everything else. So this is gonna be relatively quick because I got to get to work in like about 50 minutes. So I want to make sure I can get there to work and figure out what's going on. So this is gonna be really. I'm gonna try to make this as short as possible. Now let's take a look at the suit. It's very. Here's the thing. I'm a huge Batman fan. I'm a huge Batman fan. I love Batman. I don't have a lot of Batman stuff because I want to make sure I can be able to afford my abode and make sure I have my bills taken care of. But if I had a lot of extra money, I would be getting a lot of Batman stuff. You'd be seeing on this wall a gigantic Batman things. Okay, but I got to do what I got to do, and I don't want you guys to think that I'm just some guy who just talks about stuff and doesn't have anything. No, I'm a huge Batman fan. However, I am not one of these guys who jump on YouTube and they're excited all the time because of just whatever's out. No, I'm a complete grown up. I make my own personal decisions, and I will tell you guys exactly how it is. Now, I still don't like Robert Pattinson as Batman. I think that he's too scrawny. He could try to get as much muscle as possibly can, but the problem is his facial features and his body frame is much better as a lean, stronger person. Batman is supposed to be a huge hulking type of guy. He's supposed to be all complete muscle, and in my personal opinion, Robert Pattinson can't fill out the physical role of it. Now the acting part of it, we have to see. We truly do. It has nothing to do on Robert Pattinson. Robert Pattinson can kill on the role, but the writing is terrible. So I want the complete picture. I want the complete character. As much as anybody talks about it, I love Ben Affleck as Batman. He was phenomenal as Batman. A tortured Bruce Wayne with 20 years of experience. I've been saying it numerous times on my videos, and I'm never gonna stop saying it. Some people may think that this is like beating a dead horse, but this needs to be out there. Ben Affleck knows Batman. He understands Batman. You can't just have a person say, "Oh, I like Batman," and they don't understand the character at all. He is he is in a way not a hero, but he's also is a hero because he is sacrificing his life. It doesn't matter about him putting himself in front of a bullet. No, he is sacrificing his personal care and love, and also he put away a lot of romantic relationships because became Batman. This man had over five women that basically fell in love with him, and he fell in love back with them, but he could never, ever, ever, ever be um Bruce Wayne fall in love with anybody because he has to be Batman. He has to be mired in tragedy. That was the whole point of Tom King's story from when he was with Catwoman all the way up to when she left him at the altar. It was basically to tell you that he can have the person in his life, but he can't not be Batman. He The relation that he has with Selena Kyle, in my personal opinion, is the perfect relationship. He goes to her, he gets his itch scratch. She goes to him, she gets her itch scratched. But they can never ever truly be together. They cannot get married. If he gets married to anybody, he cannot be Batman. He cannot be the effective Batman. And and it was proven. It was completely proven. Now, if someone can actually do the story and literally have him with Catwoman and still make him an effective Batman without jumping the shark or making it feel like it's too easy, then by all means, I will eat my words and I will be perfectly happy with that. But you have to prove it. You can't just say no, it can happen. No, you got to prove it. The whole point of Batman's character is he lost his parents in an alleyway over a senseless crime, and he feels that he shouldn't that should not happen to any other person ever again. That is the basis of Batman's character. So if for him to be an effective person that can frighten the crap out of these criminals, he cannot he cannot worry what's going on back at home. He has to focus on what he's doing. Hence why he trains Richard, trained Jason, trained Tim, trained Damien, he trained Barbara. He trained to the point where he doesn't have to worry about him. He doesn't have to worry about them. They go out there, they do their job. If they can't be able to, get to his level, they show it. There's times when they're sitting there going, man, how the heck can he keep doing this? He's Bruce. He cannot worry about what's going on over here when he has an objective in front of him. He cannot worry about that. That goes, no, you got to handle that. I got to go. And that's where we see Batman at his best. So, um, that's a small tidbit, and I want everybody to understand this. Robert Pattinson could probably kill it in this role. I just think that his look, physically cannot do it. He cannot do it. That's physically to me. He cannot fill out an appropriate batsuit. Ben Affleck got huge for that role. He got buff. If you're sitting there talking about Justice League, that's a completely different subject. That's a completely different subject because he was still drinking on the role. He was drinking on the role. He got pissed off. He got pissed off because people were meddling on that project. They were meddling around with Zack Snyder. He was promised that things are going the way Zack Snyder wanted, and they kept mulling around with this movie. So it has nothing to do with your personal feelings about Ben Affleck. It is basically what was going on behind the scenes. Now, it could be any one of us. We could sit there and say, well, I would never have done that. But that's you. Ben Affleck's a different person. He was promised one thing and then it was not delivered. Hence why we got the Snyder Cut movement. We were promised a movie and we got basically Hanna-Barbera level superheroes. To me, that makes no absolute sense. We were promised a gritty, in your face Justice League movie that we were promised because of Zack Snyder's building and his storytelling principle, and then all we get was basically Barney Fife in France. I don't want that. No, thank you. So let's get to the bat suit. Let's analyze it. Let's see how it looks. Now I'm gonna give you a fair look at it. I already saw it. I'm gonna give you my fair review of it. So let's get over here. Now this is the look of the bat suit, and it looks very leathery. It looks like it's patchworked. Now that's pretty cool because this is his first suit. This is his first suit within his first years of being Batman. So okay, I can give that allowance. Now, now from what we could tell is it looks like he has a lapel or like a collar that's latched onto the cape itself, which has a homage to the oh man, it's that version of Batman that dealt with the Jack the Ripper. I forgot which version. I think that was Gaslight by Moonlight Batman. So we're getting that version, that type of mystique to it. So that's pretty cool. But here's the negative. The the suit makes his head it makes this feature here look like a lollipop. And what I mean by a lollipop is his head is bigger than his neck. If you understand what I mean by that. So you're getting the full frame of his head and neck, and that's not good. You want it to show an imposingness. And that looks very weird. It looks very weird to me. It looks but again, you have to give some allowances because this is his first suit. This is one of his first levels of suits, so he might adapt it a little bit more for like they did in The Dark Knight, because the suit that I'm sorry, not Ben, but Christian Bale had in the first movie, that was a good comic book accurate suit. Then they adapted it to give it more armor plating features, and it actually was it made him look more lean. It gave him more of a leaner look, and it looked weird. It didn't make him look imposing. It's supposed to look imposing, like he's bigger than normal, which he's not. He's not supposed to be bigger than normal. But the suit is really cool. I mean, the suit looked cool in the first movie. It looked kind of weird in the second movie, and the third movie was kind of like a hodgepodge of the both of them. So so that's my first look at this portion of the suit. I don't. I'm not saying that it's terrible, but I have to see it more in action. Now there is a video of it, and it has the music, so I'm gonna play that for a moment. We're gonna listen to that. I won't show it on here, but I will link it. I will give you guys. No, I will actually add that into my podcast. I'm gonna take some notes on a lot of things for today when I'm at work, and I'm going to add all that stuff into the podcast of what I'm gonna be talking about because it's gonna be relatively long, probably about a couple of hours at least. Because there's a lot of stuff that happened and I want to talk about it, and also what's going on with the birds of prey, and I don't want to talk about it in this. So let's get in. Let's look at the second one. Now, this is supposed to be a framework of the symbol itself. Now, um, from what it looks like, these are all moving parts. It's like okay, so what do I think of it? Now, it doesn't have the full look of the symbol. It just has the wings. Now, I don't know how I feel about it. I really honestly don't. I like it, but I think it's cool. It's something a little bit different, but I have to see it in action. I have to see the representation of it. Um, but the armor plating, okay, that's understandable. But in my personal opinion, if you want to, to me, it makes more logical sense. But it makes logical sense in that reverse. So like in my sense, he would go not say full spandex, but he would go with more of a traditional suit. Like it's more of like a rubbered suit because he's younger, he's faster, he doesn't really need all that plating. He wants to make sure that he has the skill necessary to get it done. Now, let's say 2 or 3 years down the road, after going through a lot of enemies, yeah, I would see him put in a Kevlar suit, put in plating and such like that to make sure that hey, bullets hurt. Falling out of a window hurts. Falling onto a car from a window hurts. Falling from 2 or 3 stories hurts. It hurts. It hurts his body. So he's like, okay, I need more plating. Now you can also elaborate on that as saying, well, if this is like his first couple of years of being Batman, then it would make sense because he understands that. I say, yeah, that makes absolute sense. I would understand that. But from a general aspect of him, but him having a shoulder plate, if you look on your left hand side, having a plate on the shoulder and then another plate on it, that's a little extreme. Now, if it was one layer of plate, then I'm like, okay, that makes sense. But this is like he's really protecting himself. So again, also because of what we're hearing about Robert Pattinson having a hard time gain more muscle mass, which is upsetting me. If this is supposed to make him look more imposing, the armor's supposed to make him look more imposing, like he's bigger than normal. I could see that, but I think that the thing that made Ben Affleck bigger was the suit was like I'll probably say a quarter of an inch thicker than his body. So it made him look bigger. But if you saw him in a tuxedo in the movie in the BVS, he was huge. He was still huge. And then if you see his little training scene, he was still huge. So I completely disagree with anybody that says that Ben Affleck was not in shape in BVS. I go, oh, no, that was all him. He did that whole scene. That whole training montage was him. That wasn't anybody else. He lifted all that stuff. That's old. That's classic old Gold's Gym level training. That's like Arnold Schwarzenegger level training. Guy has a makeshift gym in the back cave, and he's having old fashioned stuff. He's not using machines. He's using old fashioned weights. So we have to see how this version of Bruce is. We have to see his mental state. We have to see his mindset. We have to see if his Batman is going to be more of a detective, which I think that's what Matt Reeves is going for. Is he going to have integrated like an integrated crime lab like we've seen in the Arkham series, or is it going to be all him? Now, I've always stated that I would love to have a detective level Batman. That's the only thing that's really marking me to want to watch this movie. But I'm very, very upset because I don't think Robert Pattinson can pull it off. Um, Not because I don't like him. No, I just I'm an indifference about him as a person. I'm very hesitant because he hasn't done detective or like a mystery type of movie that shows that he's a detective. So if he did something like that and they built him like a Sherlockian Holmes type of guy, I would be like, okay, then I could see him playing Batman because Batman is based off of Sherlock Holmes. His detective skills are like Sherlock Holmes. He did so. I haven't seen Robert Pattinson do it. I would like to see some type of footage. But this is one of my lower tier movies of that's coming out. I'm hesitant about a lot of things, but I'm willing to go watch the movie. Like I have more applause towards Birds of Prey than I was towards this Batman movie, and that was due to the fact is I love Margot Robbie. I think she's a great actress. I think that she can really have a great career here, and she made this character her own. She took two aspects of a character of what we've known that of what the Harley Quinn that we know and turn it into her own character, and still it feels like I'm either watching Arlene Sorkin or I'm watching Tara Strong, and I'm very happy with that. And I think that Margot really doesn't want to screw this character over. I think she really wants this character to be mainstreamed and highlighted for everybody to see. But Batman has been a staple point since 1989, and in live action media, we have not had a silver screen, which is TV show level Batman, since Adam West. Okay, and Adam West did one movie as Batman. We've had many big budgeted movies with Batman in it, live action Batman, and two of them disappointed. In my personal opinion, two of them disappointed. Actually, three in my personal opinion. Um, Two of them was the Ben Affleck in Justice League, and that was a creative decision that had nothing to do with him. And the other one was George Clooney. So we need a really good Batman, and I don't want a Batman that's gonna beat the crap out of criminals and he barely does any detective skills. I do want that Dick Tracy level Batman that is smart enough to outwit the criminal. He has the gadgets and everything else. I don't want Matt Reeves to shirk on the choreo the fighting sequences with Batman. I want him to be he knows what he's doing. He has an effective fighting skill and a fighting prowess that makes him frightening, and it makes sense. It makes sense to that version of Batman. The Christian Bale version with the type of martial art that he learned, and I'm gonna get a little more information about that in the bigger podcast when I talk about this in a grander scope, because even David Hawk, his name is David, but Hawk, he does martial arts. And even he said that the style that they did in the Christian Bale version makes absolutely no sense to Batman. Batman is not a person that does elbows and knees and headbutts. He doesn't do that. He's more of a boxer, and he does jujitsu and judo and some karate and gung fu, or kung fu if you really want to get into the American style of it. But um, he's more of a slugger. He swings for the fences. He swings with all of his power with a fist. He doesn't do elbows or headbutts. He only does elbows and headbutts when a person's grabbing up to him and he has to get them away from him. He does it is more logical and it's very strategic. So if you want to get into a good version of Batman, if they do that in this movie, this is the movie I want to see the dude from John Wick to do. If they get the guy that did John Wick and he sits down and does this movie very well, I will shut up about Robert Pattinson's Batman. I will shut up about it. I'll be like, "Yep, that's the Batman I want to see for a while." But I don't want to see him in the DCU because he's scrawnier than Henry Cavill. That's not the way you want it. You want Batman and Superman to be almost the same girth. You want them to be almost in the same imposing nature. I don't feel an imposing nature when I look at Robert Pattinson. I really don't. He's tall. That's not big and intimidating like Batman. Batman's 6'2". He weighs 200 pounds, and it's muscle. He has very little fat on him. Robert Pattinson is like 6'3", 6'4", and he weighs probably about a buck 60. So I mean, just because he's 6'3", 6'4", I mean, but Ben Affleck's the same height, and he gained like close to 40 pounds of muscle. So I don't want to hear it. I mean, yes, muscle makes a difference. Muscle can intimidate somebody, especially a lowbrow criminal that basically just see a dude just come out of the night and he grabs him up and snatches him up and throws him through walls. I mean, come on, that's very imposing. So we can probably get that with Robert Pattinson's Batman, but I don't have high hopes. So that's what I think. I'm gonna make a huge, like probably about almost a 2-hour podcast. And I'm gonna get in touch with Hawk, and we're gonna talk about it, and then we're gonna see where his head is at, and I'm gonna tell him, come on, man, we gotta be analytical about it. You could say your personal piece, but we don't want to oh, okay, that's my broom. We don't want to alienate a lot of fans away. We want you guys to come in and say, hey, you guys are being fair about it. Well, again, Hawk has his personal opinions. I have my personal opinions. I'm a little more flexible than Hawk, but I want to be honest. I want to be honest, but yeah, we got both got to cut back on the language because this has to be family friendly. But I want you guys to be able to make your own decisions. And also, I don't want people to come on here and say the suit's crap. Well, why is it crap? Well, it's just crap. I don't want that version of the suit. I'll go, okay, give me a good reason. I'm giving you guys good reasons. I have to see it in live action. I have to see it moving. And in the test footage, there was some movement, and it looks like the suit was flexing and ill flexing. And I'm sitting here going, okay, okay. I'm kind of digging the suit. So I have to see a little bit more of it, and I also got to hear this music. So thank you for joining me. You guys have a great one. Like, comment, share, subscribe down below. Hit the bell. I'm very sorry about not giving you guys any information. I've been busy at work, and also I've been busy trying to get this computer up and running. It's up and running. It's moving very fast. It's brand new stuff inside of there. My camera is brand new. I might look about getting another monitor, but the way my whole desk is set up, my little desk right here, it's pretty confining a little bit. I already got a big widescreen monitor. I do want to get a curved one, and I do want to look at one that has a more for the gaming aspects because I do have a gaming channel. And I will talk about that. I will talk about the new channel. So you guys, if you guys want to see any gaming stuff, I'll have it over there. I did have my Twitch, but I just said no, no, I'm good on Twitch. There's just too much internet stuff going on. I'd rather just record it and plop it right on YouTube here. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for being patient. Like I said, hit the bell. I will get videos out. You guys have a great one. Bye.